Mm, 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 mm. You know what? I love that music. I really do. At first, I was like, I don't know about the music. I like it. The young folks on my team call it my boomer music, but I like it. It's kind of catchy, right? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics. We're a little bit early today. And you know, we are of a casual nature because it's at 10 a.m. Well, it's earlier than 10 a.m. now. What is it? It's 9:21 Eastern, 8:21 Central Time where I am here in Louisiana. But we are going on early because if you see on the screen the one that picture that's right there, that is the Manhattan courtroom where Donald Trump will be sentenced today. Donald Trump will be sentenced. You see the folks there. Here's the catch: we may or may not see him because he can do it virtually, but we will see all the players. We're going to see Todd Blanche's attorney. We'll see the attorneys for the state, everybody involved, and possibly Donald Trump, but he can do it virtually. And so the reason we're doing this is because this is obviously it's momentous, it's historic. We will officially have a felon as president. He will be sentenced. This means he's sentenced for felonies, 34 counts that he was found guilty of. Okay? So that's what we are standing by waiting for. Also, getting you updates right here. Check this out. You see the other things on the screen. This is what the folks in California are dealing with. And it is not getting much better. Not getting much better. We're also going to give you some facts because there's a lot of things that are going around out there about who's responsible. What about the water? What about Gavin Newsom didn't do this, and um, Mayor Karen Bass didn't do that, and blah 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 blah. So there's a lot of fact checking that needs to be done. This is a Democrat's fault. It's a Democrat's fault. It's the woke DEI. It's woke, woke, woke. Everything is woke, like Jesus. It's DEI. What happened to CRT? Did will DEI ever go the way of CRT? Like CRT went the way of what was before CRT? It was something else that was before CRT. And then it was the new Black Panthers. Oh, Antifa. Remember, Antifa is responsible for this. Oh, and then it was Antifa, the Black Lives Matter people, the Antifa. Like it's always something that people fall for it. Like the Republicans have typically fallen for, but then MAGA has fallen for the Antifa. Like, what is Antifa? Is not even like a whole thing. It's like, a couple of people like anarchists that are just sort of these disparate groups of people or people. I don't even know if you can call it a group, but they come up with it and people fall for it. Like they fall for CRT, and then no one's really teaching it. The facts will show that, and then
Hi, all. This is Nikki here, having some internet issues with Tom, but we're going to get him back in just a minute.
And we are back. Sorry, I had a little connectivity issue here. As you know, I'm remote from the hotel. What was I talking about? Are you there, Nikki or Andy? I can't even remember what I was trying to get on. We were talking about, fact checking, correct? Am I back up? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you are back up. We
Sorry
can hear you.
little technical difficulties. We interrupt this for technical difficulties. So, anyways, we have a lot of fact checking to do. So, Donald Trump will be our first felon president. Remember, Nixon resigned before the charges or was found guilty of anything. Really, just sort of resigned in advance. We believe in facts here, even though Meta does not believe in fact checking. And so here we go. So we're going to talk to you. We'll give you some fact checks on the fire. We'll give you some fact checks on what is happening with Donald Trump. And this should be starting at any moment. It starts in about 3 minutes. So as we're waiting on this to start, should we talk about what happened yesterday in Georgia? So yesterday in Washington, D.C. So yesterday in Washington, D.C., this is what folks were talking about as we get ready here and we watch the courtroom. And we can put it up, I guess, in a box, Andy. I'm not sure how you can do this. But this is what folks were talking about. And that is this chummy sort of relationship between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. And we have some new, because Donald Trump responded to it. So as we're waiting, I just want to play it. So let's just show what was happening yesterday in Washington, D.C. with these two. And, people were all walking in. And during the thing, Obama sat next to Donald Trump and they were very chummy. And it became an internet meme. Not an internet meme, it went viral. Everyone was wondering, like, what the hell is going on here? Why is this happening? Well, you don't have to believe me, because people are like, we don't believe this and you're making this up and Democrats want to do this. By the way, again, I'm not a Democrat. But Donald Trump responded to it because obviously it is a real thing and it reached him as well. Check it out. This is Donald Trump responding to the so-called chummy relationship that people think that they somehow was having yesterday.
At the top, you mentioned the Carter funeral today. What were you talking to Barack Obama about?
By the way, this is a
It did
Fox
look very
report.
friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other, and we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along, but I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on, and I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well, which is good.
In California.
So there you go. We all got along very well, which was good. And he said they met backstage. Maybe that explains some of the folks not shaking his hand or greeting him or not acknowledging him. But it was certainly very clear yesterday that one person was not having it. And that was Karen Pence, who didn't even bother to look at him, would not even get out of her chair, stand up. She stood up for everyone else. I know they said they met backstage, some of them, but she certainly greeted and stood up for everyone else. Andy, we could roll that. We don't even need the sound of it. But she certainly stood up and greeted everybody else who walked in besides, are we going to roll it? Do we have it?
To you, we can see.
Yeah, there we go. Besides, look, she's not even looking at him. She won't look. And so she became the hero of the day, and folks were like, well, President Bush did not acknowledge either. But she acknowledged everyone else besides him. And so there we go. So that's what happened yesterday, and that's what folks are talking about as we lead up to this. And it's very interesting to see Donald Trump in that position yesterday, going to a funeral of a former president, then him giving a press conference regarding the fires, and then also today having to deal with a sentencing in the hush money trial where he was found guilty of 34 criminal counts of, it wasn't campaign finance. It was like a misappropriation of funds.
Falsifying business
business records. Thank you, Nick. It was coming out and out at the same time. Of falsifying business records. And so it went down yesterday. The breaking news came over the wire, over the horn. Our folks over at MSNBC and the Readout, Joy Reid, reported on this breaking news. We'll play a bit of that, and then we'll play the person being sentenced today responding to this, and we'll hear what he has to say about it. Here it is.
Now, with some breaking news is Paul Butler, MSNBC legal analyst and former federal prosecutor, and MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. And the breaking news that we have for you is that, to the surprise of many, including, I'll be honest, myself, the Supreme Court has denied Donald Trump's bid to stay his criminal sentence. He is scheduled to be sentenced tomorrow to no jail time, but as of tomorrow, he will officially be sentenced for the 34-count felony conviction in New York. The Supreme Court asked and answered. They have said no to Donald Trump's bid to stay his sentencing. Ladies first, let me go to you, Lisa Rubin. Your reaction.
We're going to get some analysis here. Listen to the Amy Coney Barrett part.
I'm somewhat
it's
surprised.
Important.
Not because I thought that the Supreme Court's presidential immunity decision should have justified a stay here, but because I thought Donald Trump ultimately would have enough votes to go for the stay. Instead, he lost narrowly by a vote of 5-4. And critically, Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett voting with the 3 liberals to deny Donald Trump that stay of sentencing that he sought. I want to read to you and our viewers the one paragraph
so that was
that
important.
The majority.
All right, thank you. So Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Roberts. Now, have you guys heard of this cat turd person that has been on the right, that has gained some political prominence and appears with Tucker Carlson and on the right-wing shows or whatever? Well, the MAGA folks are pissed off at the folks who they believe voted with the liberals, and that's Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett. But for some reason, and look, MAGA is not sexist, right? Remember, they're not racist, they're not sexist. But they're not going after Roberts. They're going after who? Amy Coney Barrett. Cat turd. I can't believe I'm putting this up here. Tweeted this. Traitor. Mitch McConnell. Globalist plant. Fraud. Snake. Backstabber. Phony. Sellout. Leftist puppet. Weasel. Fake plastic loser. So that's how they feel about Amy Coney Barrett. And the reason they're doing that, Donald Trump appointed her. But also, look, they're not doing this to the guy, to the dude. For some reason, they're doing this to the woman. But, MAGA's not sexist. They're not bigoted. Not at all. That is sarcasm, obviously, as we watch the Manhattan courtroom where Donald Trump is about to be sentenced. It should have started 4 minutes ago. Often these things are late. This one, I believe, producers correct me if I'm wrong, appears to be on time. But in that same press conference yesterday where he responded to his chummy so-called relationship at the funeral, no jail time, there's no justice system. It's a slave-controlling just us system. Right to alter or abolish is getting very appealing, says Gina. Of course MAGA's upset. How dare Trump be held accountable, says MZ Lady. Well, you're right. They're not happy about it. Of course, they go after the woman. They think she's easy prey, says Loving My Melanin. Now, I don't think all of that matters now because he still will not go to prison after the conviction. Yeah, 3 minutes a day. Yes, that's true. That's what we have been talking about. The judge has already indicated that. But this is what, as we are talking about this is what I want to do. I want to play to you because he responded to it yesterday. Here it is. Watch.
Slow down the sentencing. It's on for tomorrow. Now what?
Well, they called for an appeal, and as you know, they acknowledged what the judge said about no penalty, and there's no penalty. But we're going to appeal anyway, just psychologically, because frankly, it's a disgrace. It's a judge that shouldn't have been on the case. He's a highly conflicted judge. And they called for an appeal. So I read it, and I thought it was a fair decision, actually. So I'll do my little thing tomorrow. They can have fun with their political opponent. As you know, I'm under a gag order from a judge. This is a first.
Pause that.
This was an attack of...
Pause that. Okay, so as always, he says something that is, you would think is kind of true, and then his folks, the MAGA brain people, will buy it. gulp it down. Oh, yeah, he's right. He's not under a gag order, but he can't talk about it. What he can't do is what everyone else who would be involved in this situation does. You cannot disparage the people involved. You cannot disparage the jurors. You can't do it. It's not because then you put them in harm's way. That is what everybody. That happens to everyone. And so then people will believe, this is historic. It's not the first time that this happened. He's no different in that sense than anybody else, except that most people would get like a harsher sentence, especially in business. They would not be allowed to be able to be in business if they falsified business records. But he goes on to run the business of the country. I'm just saying, is that fair? Do you guys think that that is fair? Let me know what you think. Let's continue with the soundbite.
This is a first. This was an attack of a political opponent.
Not at first.
And if you take a look at it, I'm not supposed to be talking about it, so I won't. I'm the first president and probably one of the first candidates in history that's under attack with a gag order, where I'm not allowed to speak about something. And they ought to find out what that's all about. And this is a long way from finished.
Well, it's not true in a sense, because he's the first, because he's a felon, because he committed it, because he was found guilty. So he's telling on himself in that way, but he's trying to use it to say like, oh my God, they're targeting me. No. This is not a first for him in terms of gag orders. People do that, but it is a first because he is now a criminal president. He is convicted. He's going to be sentenced. It is happening right now. So there you go. All right. So we're going to pay attention. The folks are, Infinity says felon. Jay Brigham says he blames everything on everyone else. I've never heard him admit a wrong. Multicrafter says not supposed to talk about it, but steadily running his mouth. TD says that's because he's the first outright criminal we have had besides Nixon. Remember, Nixon, you can't say, look, you can say Nixon was guilty, there were tapes, but he was not ever convicted of a crime. And Nixon was impeached. I don't believe that's. Double check me, producers. It's early for me here, but I don't think Nixon was ever convicted of a crime. And also Nixon stepped down before actually being impeached. He's such a liar, says Infinity. I'm not going to talk about it. Ha, says Beth Baer. I told my friend that someone started, that we were talking about the fires. We're going to get to that. Suzanne Marcel started the fire, and they told me, no, it started on its own. We don't know about that yet. He's always a victim, says Ms. Lady. So we are going to get what the sentencing is. I mean, what if the sentencing is, and I know they're probably not going to say that, is that you are barred from now holding any political office. Now imagine that. What would happen? Can you imagine what would happen in this country if the judge actually said that? We bar you from taking any political office. What would happen? Ford pardoned Nixon. Yes, I know that. Winky Campbell says fascist felon is his name in my house. I can't stand to look at the malignant mango, says Dawn T. It's going to be a complete joke, says Culture. So again, there we go outside of the courthouse, and we have not seen him walk in yet. So apparently he's going to take it virtually, and we'll see if they release any of the video or the footage of it virtually. Producers, I am sure, I know that you are watching this for me. Reese Nunn says, Don, did you hear about how the fire started? It was an arsonist. At least one. We're going to talk about it. And we are early. Wow, this is at, we have our hot topics at 10. Should we move? The producer's going to go crazy. Should we move them to 9? Look at the engagement of the folks. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. By the way, our subscriptions have been going. It's crazy. So keep subscribing. It is free. Producers, put that up on the screen and also put in the top of the chat how people can become a subscriber and how you can become a member as well. Our members get priority, that their comments and their questions asked. The folks in the green on the chat, those are our members. So we have so many people watching us, not enough thumbs up. Come on, people. What's wrong with you? A waste of our time and tax dollars, says Sister Craft. Multi-crafter is talking to Sharon Best and the thing saying, yes, other countries could deny him entry because he is a convicted felon. Is that what you're saying? 4 more years of hate, says Jim 67. Wow, Simi, thank you. Simi has gifted 10 memberships for those. So 10 people get to become members of the Lemonation. You get to become Lemonheads, or I don't know if you're Lemonheads, but you get to become members of the Lemonation because of Simi. Thank you, Simi, or Simi. And we love your support. We appreciate your support of independent media. We had a good talk about that in our private stream last night. It was interesting. So if you were not on the private stream last night, here's what you missed. We actually heard directly from my sister, which is the reason I'm in Louisiana, and from her hospital bed, where she's talked about, even from her hospital bed, supporting independent media. When she said I wanted to become a member, she thought, now let me tell you, this is how selfless she is. She thought that she was supporting like all of independent media by becoming a member on my channel. And when I told her that you are, but you're supporting me, she's like, okay, well, how do I donate to independent media? And I said, well, you have to go on and support different people separately. Maybe there should be a collective fund. I don't know how that works or would work. But from her hospital bed, she's like becoming a member, and then she discussed at length about how important independent media is and how she used to be just tied to watching corporate and legacy media. And then she was like, I'm over this. I'm over the false equivalency. I'm over the pretending like everything is like normalizing everything. She's just over it. You should have heard her talk. But if you are not a Lemonhead or Lemon legend, then you didn't get to see her or hear her talk about it. Stephen Bruno says Trump will not see the inside of a cell, but we will have to wear the stain of being a felon. He will have to wear the stain of being a felon president. That stink won't wash off, and he will be in the history books. That will drive him mad in the end. That's what Stephen. And thank you for your generous support to independent media. So look, make sure you hit that thumbs up and make sure you like and subscribe. I won't keep telling you that, but it's also very important to us. So if you want to become a member, it's at the top of our chat. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook, Instagram, which is Meta. And we're live on TikTok, of course, this morning. Tawanda became a member. Welcome to the Lemonation, Tawanda. Appreciate you being here. Am I a Lemonhead? Says Robin Dobb. I don't know. Robin, you'll have to let me know. Sarah Darling became a member. Tawanda Holman became a member. Who else became a member? Anna B became a member. So Michelle, all of you guys, welcome to Lemonation. We're glad that you can be here. We're glad that you're here. Lady D, member for a month. Thank you. Okay, so remember, if you were gifted, you're going to have to renew. All right? Just remember that. Just keep that in mind, okay? All right, so listen, let's go on. I want to talk Easy Tino, and let's read one more thing before. Easy Tino says VP Trump is going to be in big trouble in a few weeks. He has a country to rebuild, Maui, LA, and Florida, after natural disasters, a car market about to melt down again, and President Musk ego to manage. That says Easy Tino. Thank you for your support of independent media. And by the way, it's interesting. Remember, people said, oh, nobody's calling him President Musk. Okay, well, there's the proof right there, folks are. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening as we watch this, and we'll get the information on exactly what the sentencing is. And if you guys see it, let me know. And we're sorry that we broke up, okay? Okay, so here's what we know about what's happening in California. We know that the fires are continuing to burn We know that the winds were very powerful. We know that they're still not contained. I think zero contain if zero containment or very little containment. Zero containment or very little containment as it relates to the fires. Okay? And then there's been all of this consternation about who did what. About who did what. Who's responsible for what? And I'm going to read to you once I tell you about these fires, I'm going to tell you, go back to the courthouse because we're going to get more information. But as to who did what. The Santa Ana winds last night really hung over Southern California. Firefighters battled to contain the raging blazes. It killed now 10 people there, destroyed thousands of structures, 35,000 acres, an area twice the size of Manhattan have burned in Los Angeles. A new fire, the Kenneth Fire, broke out Thursday evening in West Hills. Now keep that Kenneth Fire, keep that at the top of your thoughts, because that's what we're going to talk about. The Kenneth Fire. Broke out on Thursday evening in West Hills, north of Calabasas, grew rapidly, 1,000 acres within hours. Mandatory evacuation orders were lifted before midnight as the fire was partially contained, but its outbreak showed that we are absolutely not out of the extreme weather event, Los Angeles Fire Chief Kristen M. Crowley said. Okay, and then they went on to talk about the two biggest blazes. However, last night, I believe we have this. Nikki, do we have the suspect thing, the one about the person this Kenneth Fire? Do we have that, something on that?
Yes, we do.
So this is the thing where folks were saying that this was arson. That is a Kenneth Fire. Now, the other one, they are not sure. They believe it could have been set intentionally or it could have been an accident. They're not exactly sure. It could have been spontaneous combustion or whatever. But this Kenneth Fire is very problematic because there's someone in custody. Watch this.
What we know right now is that the incident started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by citizens.
So someone purposely set the Kenneth Fire?
At this time, that's what we believe, yes.
Do you know how or why they did that?
That I don't know.
Is this a crime scene right now?
Yes.
So everything's closed off?
It's being investigated as a crime.
So there you go. It's being investigated as a crime, and that is the Kenneth Fire. That is the Kenneth Fire that's being investigated that way. Who the hell would do that? Why would someone do that? What in the world, what would provoke some idiot to start a fire? Ignorance. What would provoke someone to start who's he being paid for? It says TikTok. Who's he being paid by? Interesting. It was a homeless man, they said. That's according to TikTok. They backtracked. They said he's not charged with arson. So here we go. It says lock him up. I don't know. We get some information, producers, because our folks are saying they backtracked. He's not charged with arson. We want to see that. So here's the thing. Let's go through these fact checks, all right? Because there's so much misinformation going around. Okay? There's a lot of misinformation going around. Let's see. The producers are sending me something. Okay, I'll get this up. This is as it relates to Trump's sentencing. This is a misinformation. Let's go through this real quick, and then we'll get back to the trial. Okay, so let's put this up. These are the fact checks that folks have been talking about. So listen, especially if you're the MAGA folks. Okay, let's listen. Let's listen, MAGA folks. Let's listen, everyone. Is LA running out of water to fight the wildfires? This is a fact check. 5 claims about the LA fires. Are you guys listening? Okay? Listen. We like to give receipts here. And the truth, the claim. The claim is that cutting the LA Fire Department budget. This is the claim. LA Democratic Mayor Karen Bass cut fire department funding. Here's the fact check and the truth. Bass signed LA's 2024-2025 city budget in June of last year. which was 2024, which included $819 million for the LA Fire Department, a reduction of $17.6 million compared to the previous year's budget. However, these are the facts. The budget was in the middle of ongoing negotiations on additional funding. The final deal actually increased funding by $50 million. So MAGA brains, MAGA. I call it MAGA brain. Stop it. Your facts are wrong. Your facts are just wrong. You're being lied to. Someone is telling you they cut the budget. They didn't cut the budget. Now, there are things that, look, that the mayor, she's got some explaining to do, especially about not being there, missing in action. But the facts just don't add up to what you're claiming that she did or cutting the budget. It's just not true. Okay? It's just not true. Thanks for fact checking, Don, says someone on TikTok. You're welcome. Here's another claim. Where LA's water comes from? Okay, the claim. On Truth Social, of course, it should be called Lies Social. Trump appeared to claim that California Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the Water Restoration Declaration to allow water from northern sources to flow into Southern California. This is a fact check. That is false. State officials, including Republicans, confirmed to local news outlets that there has never been a declaration similar to which Trump is referring. Okay, MAGA folks are being lied to by your own dear leader. That's a lie. Additionally, Los Angeles' water doesn't come from snow, rain in Northern California. It comes from LA's 112-year-old aqueduct from Owens Valley and groundwater. The city also imports water from the Metropolitan Water District, which channels water from sources such as the Colorado River. So this has nothing to do with smelt and protecting, as Trump has been saying, it has nothing to do with protecting this little fish that nobody cares. It is nothing. It's all lies. It's all lies, people. Come on, MAGA folks. Third claim, dry fire hydrants. Fire hydrants in LA ran out of water because the county refused to refill reservoirs. Are you listening, trolls? Fact check. As Trump would say, remember in the debate, false, false, false. Prior to the fires this week, LA filled its water tanks. Officials note that due to high demand, fire hydrants are running out of water because the water is being used faster than officials can refill the tanks. Fires themselves have made it difficult to refill the tanks. You're being lied to again. But you guys don't care about facts. Truth Social? Social part may be good. The truth part ain't. Number 4, incarcerated firefighters. 30% of California's firefighting force is incarcerated firefighters. That is mostly true, according to the fact check. Incarcerated firefighters can at times make up 30% of the wildfire force in the state. As of Wednesday, 395 firefighters combating the LA fires are incarcerated people who are paid $5.80 to $10.24 per day and an additional $1 an hour to respond to active emergencies. Okay? The 13th Amendment abolishes slavery, except as punishment for a crime, permitting prison labor. Now, we need to go into that because there's a lot behind this whole thing. Punishment for a crime, permitting prison labor or mandatory community service in an exception known as a so-called slavery loophole. In 2024, California voted against a proposition to remove similar language in the state's constitution. That's the fact check. Okay? 5, bankrupting insurance companies. The fire will bankrupt insurance companies, including the FAIR plan. Here's the fact check on that. Mostly false. Experts say that while it is too early to estimate final loss damage, insurance companies have a contingency plan, including reinsurance, often called insurance for insurance companies. Residents in high-risk fire zones who can't find fire insurance can apply for state-mandated last resort coverage via the FAIR plan, which is a private association run by insurance companies. If the FAIR plan runs out of money, insurance companies would have to pick up the tab and could pass some of the cost to their customers. Okay? So those are some fact checks. Those are some fact checks. There's something out there that I sent you guys. I don't know if you can fact check it. I'm just talking to the producers. There was something about United, not the health insurance, but not. I don't know if it was United, but one of the insurance companies denying or taking back some of their policies. Yeah, State Farm. This is a claim. Please check it. State Farm, one of the biggest insurers in California, excuse me, canceled hundreds of homeowners' policies last summer in Pacific Palisades, the same area which is now being ravaged by a devastating wildfire. That's per Newsweek. Can you guys check that out? That's problematic. And that relates to the whole, as we say, Luigi Mangione of it all. So here we are, Los Angeles this morning, waking up to more devastation. The sun is about to come up in the Los Angeles area, out on the West Coast, and these folks are waking up to more horror. Homes that are gone, businesses that are gone, everything that they have ever worked for, gone. And they are waking up to a lot of lies and misinformation about what caused this and how we got there. According to CBS News, thousands of Los Angeles homeowners were dropped by their insurers before the Palisades fire. You want to know why people are pissed off at insurance companies? Now, I'm not saying, remember, I'm on record saying no one should be unalived as a CEO, but you understand the positive sentiment around Luigi Mangione from so many people in the public. Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles neighborhood has been devastated by the Palisades fire, is emblematic of the insurance nightmare increasingly facing homeowners residing in regions prone to climate disaster. About 1,600 policies in Pacific Palisades were dropped by State Farm in July. California Department of Insurance spokesman Michael Soller said in a Thursday email to CBS. An analysis of insurance data by CBS San Francisco last year found that State Farm also dropped more than 2,000 policies in 2 other Los Angeles zip codes, which include the Brentwood, Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and Monte Nido neighborhoods. Why were they dropped? State Farm's decision reflects a trend of private insurers, including Allstate and Farmers Insurance, of dropping California policies or halting underwriting, leaving homeowners with the choice of getting coverage through the insurer or last resort, the California FAIR, which I just talked about, Fair Access to Insurance Requirements Plan, or FAIR Plan, or forego insurance altogether, which a lot of people do. So a lot of these people did not have insurance. The FAIR plan provides basic insurance coverage for properties in high-risk areas when traditional insurance companies will not. So they just don't want to cover it because they have to pay out too much money. So they're dropping people. You want to know why there's this public sentiment about insurance, starting with health insurance, and now with homeowners insurance? I have an issue with my home and I had to do a claim, and I asked, hey, are my premiums going to go up? And the guy who's coming out to check it said, you got to talk to your agent. It depends on the circumstances. Now, you think that all those years that you put in and not have any, you don't file any claims, nothing, 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 and then you file a claim and then your premium goes up. It's like, why am I putting this money in? Maybe I should just pay for my own, I don't know, roof, siding, whatever, water. Maybe I should just do it myself. Maybe I should put it in a trust. Maybe I should put it like in a stock so that it can gain, I can get dividends on it, get some return on it. And then I can use it in case there's an emergency. I don't know. It just gets crazy. So here we go. Let's get back to what's happening in the courtroom. Do we have an update on what happened in the courtroom? Anyone? Nikki, Peter, Andy? Because I see one dude standing there going, hey, where's everybody? So they must be in the courtroom. They must be working it out. So Donald Trump scheduled...
No updates yet, but I'll let you know.
Nothing yet. Okay. So listen, the hearing is going on. It's in front of Judge Marchand. It was Judge Marchand said, we're going to do this regardless of whether you're going to be president or not. They have the Trump folks appealed to Marchand, 2 state appeals courts, even the country's highest court over the past few weeks, unsuccessful, denied. Donald Trump was denied even by the Supreme Court. 2 conservative judges going with the liberals saying, dude, you got to be sentenced. In that aspect, you are not above the law. Now they're calling Amy Coney Barrett a traitor. Roberts, similar, but they're going after the woman for some reason. Interesting. Remember, MAGA is not sexist. Trump's last hope, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to block the proceeding in a 5-4 ruling late yesterday. Estella W. says, some of us decided his sentence should include no Mickey D's, golf, tanning, toupees, or rallies for life. Estella, you're crazy. You're crazy. Juno Combs says, Juno Combs became a member. Our Black Utopia became a member. Thank you, guys. Charlene Robinson became a YouTube member, so thank you for that. Dindile Ramanarine became a member on the YT. Surfer Girl became a member. So these are all members over on the YT, over on the tube, where you get priority and you get your comments read. Vanessa Mitchell, thank you for your support of independent media. Vanessa says, didn't 45 say he could walk on the streets of New York and unalive someone and nothing would be done? Shaking my head. So look, guys, let me tell you this. If there's one thing I agree, don't get me wrong now. Do not come after me. Don't come for me unless I send for you, okay? This is one thing that I do agree with Mark Zuckerberg on, and I think I talked about this, is that these things are too sensitive. Because there is context into whether you're promoting something or whether you're just reporting it as news to inform people. So you can't say the, M word, right? Someone's running out of court. There must be a decision. You can't say the M word. You can't say the K word. You got to say pew pew. You got to say unalive. You got to say grape or all these things because the algorithm they'll shut this feed down. They will suppress a feed. They'll shut a feed. They'll give you a strike. They will get rid of your thing. Even if you're just talking about it, you have to say SA. It's like, why? No one is promoting it. That's what's in the news. So that I do agree with Mark Zuckerberg. But here's what I think that they got wrong. It's not just the algorithm. It's not just AI. You need to hire people who can understand context, nuance, the difference between reporting something and promoting something or making fun of something. So I hate to have to say these little words like, when you're with a kid, which I hate, where someone says, what is this? That's your pee-pee. That's your tutu. That's your ha-ha tuti. And it's like, no, that's a penis. Those are breasts. Like you should be able to say those things and this is not playtime for kids. So you have to do that in order to keep the platform, in order to be able to inform people so that you don't get suppressed and you guys can get the information that you need. It's awful that you can't, like, I can't say report a news story that says, you know, M, right? You know, rhymes with girder. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, it's so bizarre. Like, what are we living in? But anyways, so I digress. So his attorneys kept trying to get this, and they said no. Had the sentencing been postponed until after his inauguration, his lawyers would have been able to argue that presidential immunity and his duties as commander-in-chief should bar the proceeding from happening. So that was actually pretty smart of them to do this before and then hand it to the Supreme Court, because then the Supreme Court has said, we said immunity if you're commander-in-chief. You're not commander-in-chief yet, so we can't stand by it, you know. So even two of the conservative judges said, this is real shaky. I can't do this. I can't have this being part of my record. I just can't not do it. And then, you know, the other ones who go along with it, whatever, the Thomases of the world and whatever, just kind of go along with everything. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, a boss. Yes, a boss. Okay, some running out of the courtroom. We got some runnings out of the courtroom, producers. They're running. You need to let me know what's going on. So the sentencing hearing, I would imagine, is still going, and it is done. Someone's got to get to a live shot. The sentencing means that Trump will have some ignominious history before he becomes only the second president to be sworn in for 2 non-consecutive terms. He'll be the only president to have been sentenced on criminal charges, which means he will be the only and he will be factually a convicted felon, a felon president. He will be the felon president. So you can refer to him, like folks used to say, the twice impeached ex one-term president. That one term is now gone, but you can still say twice impeached felon president. You can say felon President Trump felon. Now, here's the thing. A lot of folks they talk about crime and all of that. Did we play the thing that Donald Trump talked about crime? Did I get to that one yet?
We have not played it yet.
So he was at what was the context in which he was talking about crime? Was he talking about just how terrible it was that they were treating him that way? I don't remember exactly what he said. But let's play it, and then we'll get the context. This is Donald Trump talking about crime, and then we're gonna do a fact check.
Meeting with almost every senator, Republican senator, and I would say that first, it was a love fest. This is a love fest too, I believe. I'll let you know in about an hour. But this is pretty much a love fest. I mean, the governors aren't exactly chopped liver, right? This is a group of people that have done a phenomenal job, and especially when you see what's going on in Los Angeles and all. You look at the way they've run their states, it's incredible. I talk about it all the time, the top 25 states, and I don't believe we have any in the list of crime. So every one of them is a Democrat-run state. We want to get along with the Democrats.
So here we go. As folks are walking out, he believes they're all the top 25 crime. They're all Democrat states. Okay, that is another lie. Okay, the facts. All right. As folks are running out, we're going to have an issue on we're going to have information on exactly what the sentencing is that we can report to you. Okay, so Democratic states. The District of Columbia is on there. It's not a state Democrat. New Mexico, Republican. Alaska, Republican on there. These are Republican states that are in the top 25. Tennessee, Republican. Arkansas, Republican. Louisiana, Republican. California, not Republican. Colorado, not. South Carolina, Republican. Missouri, Republican. Michigan, Montana, Republican. Kansas, Republican. Oklahoma, Republican. This is such a lie, and he says this shit, and then the MAGA folks will believe him. It's not even close. Most of the states on the top 25 are fucking Republican states, not Democratic states. Okay? And not even necessarily run by Democrats. Some may be run and maybe red states. The ones who are at the bottom, New Jersey, which is blue and goes back and forth. Vermont, blue. Mississippi, red at the bottom. Wyoming, red at the bottom. Hawaii, blue at the bottom. Rhode Island, blue at the bottom. Connecticut, blue. New Hampshire, I believe, is blue. Red. It just depends. And Maine, blue. These are states that are at the bottom. He's just wrong. This is reported by violent crime rate in the United States in 2023. That's the report. Okay? As we wait on this, there was a fiery conversation, I understand, on the MSNBC between Joe Scarborough and Michael Steele regarding Donald Trump's sentencing case. Here it is.
Conversation.
Michael, I'm not saying we're walking in a winter wonderland.
Joe, you had your moment. Let me just finish the point.
I know, but
I get
tell
that.
us something we don't know.
Well, I'm telling you something that you seem to forget. And so let me make my point. You may not.
I don't know. What's up with the computer?
Proper conversation.
Michael, I'm not saying we're walking in a winter wonderland.
Joe, you had your moment. Let me just finish the point.
I know, but
I get
tell
that.
us something we don't know.
Well, I'm telling you something that you seem to forget. And so let me make my point. You may not like it, but I'm going to make it. And the reality of it is, I take your civility argument, and you like to say 78 million people voted for Donald Trump. Well, 82 million people voted for Joe Biden.
Right.
And he didn't get that civility that you're talking about from Donald Trump in those 4 years.
Right.
So now the expectation is, because he's won again and he got 78 million people, we all got to be civil to Donald Trump. Well, okay, I'm prepared to be civil.
Nobody said that.
You did.
No, I didn't say it.
I did.
So I didn't say everybody has to be civil.
The reality of it is, you're using the term civil. I've never used that term. I'm using your term. You put civility on the table.
You said we all have to be civil. There is a pushback that you have to have.
But Joe.
I'm just talking about Barack Obama.
I'm not fine. I'm not talking about that. My main point is everybody's looking at this from a one-way perspective. How we need to approach Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. How the hell is he approaching us?
Thank you.
The man wants to lock up citizens. The man wants to turn the government against him. How are we to respond to that? Are we supposed to be civil?
Michael, do you think we don't know that?
Doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't sound like it.
Why do you,
not you. I'm just saying the
Michael,
broader you.
Why do you feel the need to create false choices?
I'm not creating a false choice. I'm using your words.
You have created.
I'm using you. You put civility on the table.
My words. You took me saying that it's not the end of the world, that Barack Obama smiled and talked to Donald Trump, and you're turning that into that we have no idea what's before us.
I'm not.
You will play very well today on Blue Sky and Threads and X. Congratulations.
I'm not playing to anybody. I don't have an
audience here.
I'm just saying.
Why is Joe so defensive? I mean, am I reading that wrong? I want to get what you guys have to say. Why is Joe Scarborough, isn't he being a bit defensive here? Like, let the man make his point. As he said, you may not agree with it, but I'm going to make my point. Like, why is he so defensive? Nikki, am I reading that wrong? I mean, Andy, anybody else there? Does he seem defensive?
A bit. He does.
Okay. And yes, why is he attacking him? How much longer is left in here? A little bit?
Not much, just a few seconds.
Okay, let's finish it out.
I don't
have a particular, I'm talking to the American people just like you are. I'm using the words you use.
No, you're twisting.
And so I'm not twisting your words. So let me untwist them.
Okay, good.
Civility is a two-way street, as I said at the very beginning, and then you attacked that.
No, I didn't attack that.
You did.
Michael.
You did. So you didn't know.
You need to go back and look at the tape.
We can look at the tape.
Woohoo! Michael Steele will never be back on Morning Joe. I mean, we'll see, but I don't think he will be. But you know what? Guess what? That's actually good for them. If they know it's good for them, they would continue to have him back, and they would continue to have that kind of conversation. And all networks should be having that kind of conversation rather than paying MAGA people to come on and lie. Michael Steele offers a perspective that the American people are hungry for. The MAGA folks are over-indexed. We have to understand the MAGA people. We need to understand this. We need to let's do a focus group. So many focus groups, so many. Let's make sure we hire and profile and amplify the MAGA voices. That's how we got here. So, Joe, if you guys know what's good for you guys, especially in this moment where people are kind of side-eyeing you because of the trek to Mar-a-Lago, you would have Michael Steele and others like him on more often on your program. Instead of everyone sort of in a grief fest and they're afraid to even say something that is sort of opposes what Joe Scarborough has to say, or even challenges Joe Scarborough. So this whole thing, here we go. This is what we have. It was said, this is what Donald Trump has been sentenced to, okay? President-elect Donald Trump has been sentenced to Friday in a hush money case to unconditional discharge in which a defendant is not fined, locked up, or given probation. So that's what it was. It was signaled that would happen. With the jury verdict, and that
the judge walked inside,
it would be, let's listen. Who is this that's reporting?
That's when we saw
let's listen to this
President-elect Donald Trump sitting in a window screen on both monitors at the front of the courtroom and then in front of the benches of both lawyers. Now, the judge kicked off remarks, welcoming everybody. Then prosecutors took their turn, and they outlined just the intensity of this case. And they also said that, they must be mindful that Trump is going to be sworn in as president, but they say that his actions before, during, and after the trial really eroded the trust in the justice system. And they said that if there was any other defendant, they might be asking for a little bit of a harsher sentence. But they say because he is set to take office, that they understand that the only sentencing that makes sense is unconditional discharge. Then the judge gave Todd Blanche, Trump's lawyer, a chance to speak. And Blanche really said that this case is very inappropriate. He said it was only brought forward once Trump made it clear that he was planning to run for president. And he said the only sentence that would make sense is unconditional discharge, although they disagree that any sentencing would be making sense. And they also confirmed that they will be appealing this. And then the judge gave Trump a chance to speak, and he said that he was persecuted throughout this entire trial. He called it a witch hunt. He said he referenced a gag order that he was under, prohibiting him from being able to talk about the case, and was just very upset about that as well. And he said that they are going to be appealing, but he was just very disappointed about how everything was handled by prosecutors and everyone involved.
Okay, now, when Trump was talking, did he appear angry? Did he appear belligerent? Or was he more humble in his?
There's a photograph of Donald Trump up on. This is how he appeared virtually. Look at that.
Trump hasn't shown, they said, any remorse for his actions. Now, Trump, he wasn't, as we've seen him sometimes, a little more animated, a little more frustrated. He was pretty even-toned. You could tell he was obviously still frustrated to be there. He was leaning forward, and he was actually leaning forward throughout the entire thing. And when he was speaking, he was also leaning forward, and he was just very clear that, this was very unfair to him. And he spoke about how this case was only brought forward after many prosecutors turned down bringing forward this case. And he said that the only reason that District Attorney Alvin Bragg brought this forward was because he made a campaign promise. Now, the judge, he called it the whole trial, a paradox. He said outside there were protesters, and inside, though, when the door was closed, Trump was just like any other criminal defendant that he has handled in the past. And he said that under the law, he is required to sentence Trump. And
Andy, raise the volume a little bit, please.
That one power that Trump's presidential office does not have is the ability to erase a jury's verdict. He also mentioned briefly, and I heard you talking about it earlier, is that presidential immunity ruling by the Supreme Court. And that is something that they had to take into account and why they had to delay sentencing for so long. But he said he looked at all of it and he said it didn't change the fact that a jury had found Trump guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records in an effort to influence the 2016 presidential election.
And try to cover up the payment so that it would not have any type of negative effect on him while he was running for president. The other thing, too, you know, you're talking about the Manhattan DA's office. You know, Alvin Bragg, prosecutors again, and you just alluded to this, is that they made the point of saying that the jury was, quote, unanimous and decisive, and that must be respected, that you can't go ahead and just throw out the entire case, and that the president does not enjoy presidential immunity in this case because the actions that he took, that he was convicted of, happened before he was inaugurated in 2016.
Exactly, and but Trump's lawyers have been arguing that some of the witness testimony that was used during the trial, some of the evidence that was used during the trial, was during the time that Trump was in office. So they said that should mean that the entire case would be thrown out. But prosecutors argued that there was a lot more to the case than just the couple of tidbits of information. There were some emails. There was also some people that were with Trump in office that were testifying as well. And so they said that all of that together, that didn't account for the entirety of their case that they brought forward, and which Trump was ultimately convicted for.
Right, and in court today, and you heard this firsthand again because Morgan was inside the courtroom watching all of this happen, and again, the president appearing virtually, he was not physically here, but that the prosecutor also brought up the point that President-elect Trump has threatened to punish anybody involved in this case. Talk to me about that.
So he did. He said, the prosecutor said that Trump has threatened to punish anyone involved. He said that, Trump has threatened to dismantle certain parts of the justice system. He said that Trump really eroded the trust of the American people in the justice system and was continuously attacking those involved. Trump didn't really go into detail in response when he was speaking about that point. As we've seen on social media, he has made several attempts to threaten at times, even the judge's law clerk. And that's another thing that prosecutors brought up, was that Trump was found in violation at least 10 times of certain things like his gag order, for example. And before that, which led to the gag order, was because of some of these comments that he was making. So.
And what was Trump's demeanor when the prosecutor was talking about that, about him threatening people, anybody that's involved with the case, and also the court clerk? And he's also made many negative comments about Judge Juan Merchan himself.
Exactly. He was, again, just when it started, he leaned forward and he just stared very intently at his screen and was just leaning forward. And you could tell his face was just more, looking down at the screen than anything else. But he wasn't super agitated. He wasn't leaning back. During the trial, he would lean back quite a bit. He would cross his arms and he would huff or at certain points. But this time around, he was actually very demure. He was very just really focused on what was happening.
Demure.
Not really reacting.
Okay, Bianca, I understand that you have a question. What is it? Okay. And I can relay it to Morgan.
Okay,
Yeah,
so anyways, thank you for that. Andy, you can take that down. I mean, you can just the volume. But anyways, this is how. I worked with in the 90s at Schmidt when I worked at Channel 5, Fox on the Upper East Side, 205 East 67th Street. I worked with Linda Schmidt for years. I was her assignment editor. I actually was her field producer at times. I was actually her writer at times. And so Linda Schmidt has been there. This was back in the 90s that I worked with Linda Schmidt. True professional, consummate professional. Look, she just handles herself. I love it when people have this much poise. Okay, so I want to take your comments. Demure. So I want to take your comments. So the official thing is that he was sentenced, basically, by the way, sentenced here for an unconditional discharge, which they thought would happen, which the defendant is not fined, locked up, or given probation. Do you think that's fair? By the way, we have so many people watching, thousands upon thousands of people. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our information. You can become a member as well. So just hit that thumbs up button and thank you. I appreciate it. Like this, the engagement is incredible. So make sure you do that. Subscribing is free. Memberships are very affordable and you can do that. So after months of delay, this is a New York Times reporting, President-elect Donald Trump on Friday became the first American president, dun, 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 drum roll, to be criminally sentenced. He avoided jail or any other substantive punishment, but the proceeding carried symbolic importance. It formalized Mr. Trump's status as a felon. He is now a felon president-elect, making him the first to carry that dubious designation into the presidency. Never before, this is a quote, never before has this court been presented with such unique and remarkable set of circumstances, says the judge overseeing the case, Juan Merchan. This has been truly an extraordinary case. The judge then imposed a so-called unconditional discharge on Mr. Trump's sentencing, a rare and lenient alternative to jail or probation. Explaining the leniency, Justice Merchan acknowledged Mr. Trump's inauguration 10 days hence. Donald Trump, the ordinary citizen, Donald Trump, the criminal defendant, would not be entitled to the protections of the presidency, Justice Merchan asserted, explaining that only the office shields him from the verdict's gravity. Why was he fighting so hard to be president? Why was he wearing an orange vest, traffic vest? Why was he going on a garbage truck? Why was he going into McDonald's and doing the fries? Why did he have such desperate lying and tactics? Why? Because he wanted to stay out of jail and he knew that this was the only way to do it was by becoming president of the United States. Why were his tactics so unhinged? Why was he so desperate? Why was he throwing such caution to the wind, which paid off for him, you must admit? Is because he wanted to stay out of jail. Listen to what this judge said. Not me saying it, the judge is saying it. Donald Trump, the ordinary citizen, Donald Trump, the criminal defendant, would not be entitled to the protections of the presidency, Justice Merchan asserted, explaining that only the office shields him from the verdict's gravity. Is that fair? Anyone? How do you feel about that? Bud on TikTok says it's white privilege. Convicted felon says TikTok stinks. That is Trump's name, felon. That's what the folks on TikTok are saying. It's not fair. No, I'm angry about it. Wow, the comments are people are upset. White privilege, folks keep saying. That's what it's money privilege. Trump for prison. Felon in the White House. Going crazy. Over on TikTok. And the comments here as well. Let's put some of them up on our YouTube channel. Demetrius Cephas, thank you for your support of independent media. We are going to suffer more GOP spineless, corrupt people that don't give AF. Trump, the orange menace. That's what Demetrius is saying. Albany MTN Life or Mountain Life. Thank you for your support of independent media. I appreciate you being a member. Why hasn't Trump been charged for endangering the lives of people such as Pence, Pelosi's husband, and Springfield residents in the Senate? Why? Some of the comments. Above the law. He has a MAGA army that supports him. There are live pictures there. I'm so fucking pissed right now, someone says. Michael Shack says, correct, money privilege. Alan Payton's thoughts. Thank you for your support, Alan. I appreciate you being a member as well. Another white man avoids jail. Now, look, those are harsh words. I don't know if they're harsh words. They're real. It's true. It is true. Because think about all of the folks who have, think about all the folks who have sat in, let's just in New York, and this happens around the country, who have sat in jail waiting to even to have their cases looked at, and they're sitting in jail, and then they're found not guilty. This person is found guilty, has not served any jail time, and then goes on to be the commander-in-chief. Justice was not served, says Mary over on the TikTok. Miss Cakey says money can buy you freedom. It's not just money. They are laughing around the world, says Carol Jones. No, it's DEI white privilege, says Donna W. That's his Medal of Honor. Hopefully no other president would receive. Ran to save himself. That's what happened. There's no lie in that. That is the absolute 100% truth. The absolute 100% truth. As you're in here again, make sure you support us. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Thousands of people watching us, not enough people hitting the thumbs up. It affects the algorithm, and more people get to be a part of our conversation, our community, if you do that. Okay? Unbelievable. Nikki 131 says, how can a convicted felon pardon convicted felons? Well, we're going to see. Because that's what's happening. Well, we're going to see. How do you feel about this? Do you think that this is fair? Are you okay with this? How should folks react? Beyond MAGA land, they're celebrating, I'm sure, even though deep down they know that this would not happen, especially for a black man in America. Imagine if this was Barack Obama. Imagine. And that's why it was so tough to see yesterday for many people. A lot of folks said, oh, Barack Obama's just being classy. Others were saying, you know what? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? I hate to see this. I hate to see him yucking it up with him. Simon Dahl says Donald's new name is Felon POTUS. I'm so disgusted, says Renee Hutchins. I'm pissed, says Louise Bond. Angry, says Kristen Thompson. Enraged, says Boss Lulu and more. He has changed how the world looks at America. They have no respect for America, says one of our members. Thank you for becoming a member, Astromech Jeremy. Nikki 131 or Nikki 31, thank you for your support and thank you for your comment. No justice system anywhere anymore, says Angela Calloway. Just sickening, says India Ruiz. I'm reading your comments. I want to know how you feel. In the top of the chat is how you can become a member. It's free to subscribe. Just remember that. And then you get to be part of our community. We do this every day in the morning. We are live. We do our hot topics. And then most days we're live at 5 as well. Eastern time, on the YouTube, on the YT, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. If it was any of us in this chat, we would be jailed, says Sheba Nice. Yeah. I think any of us, but more than anything, especially any person who is part of an underserved community in this country, part of a minority group, including a woman. I mean, we haven't even had a woman in the White House, except for the first black vice president, right? But in the White House itself, no. Another sad day in America, says us TFU. Okay. USTFU. I get it now. 678. It makes me sick, says Jackie. Who the hell is Trump? This shit is so unfair and an embarrassment to our country, says Eileen Hawthorne. I'm going to profile and prioritize our members. Estella W. played on the world stage, and now we are truly at risk. And now we are truly at risk. Trump wanted to dismiss it all, but he didn't get his way. He didn't, Reese Nunn, but he gets the title of felon. However, he doesn't have to pay anything, etc. Yeah. I want to see what's going on in California as it relates to the fire. So I'm going to change that. There's a sentencing here, but I want to put up what's happening in California. See if we can get some of the live feeds up. Just what's happening. Oh my gosh, this is all about Trump sentencing. All of the live feeds are about Trump sentencing. Crazy. So there's a fire, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So here's a true. I mean, look. 32 Antoine is a question, and thank you for your support. So will Diddy be unconditionally discharged from his felonies? Could that happen? Can you imagine if that's like, oh, we can't because Diddy has such a huge role and he's, millions upon millions of dollars and he employs people and whatever, and we just can't have him in that position. Someone like him going to jail. I'm just saying, people come up with things all the time. How would you feel about that? It's not fair at all. It's sickening, says Travel with Kim. Pardon Luigi Mangione, says Norman Sellers. Norman, you are on that pardon thing. And a lot of people will probably agree with you, considering we are learning that these insurance companies dropped some folks back in the fall before the fires, and now they have no insurance. And now they have no insurance. How do you feel about that? But back to Trump. Too big to jail like Wall Street bros, says Nana Pants. Mad as hell, says India Ruiz. Diddy is black, not happening, says Ron Foster. Sherry says, should have been arrested before boarding the plane to leave Washington, D.C. in January of 2021. Now, here's the thing. You are not wrong about that in the sense, because folks are saying if Merrick Garland has had his shit together and if he had any balls, that's what they're saying, okay? If he had any riz, as they say, he would have gotten this process underway sooner, and there might be a different outcome here. Now, that's what the professionals are saying. That's what the political folks are saying. Nikki 31 says, this is despicable. Neckbo baby has gotten away with crimes in his miserable life. Guys, be neighborly because we are going to need each other. Waiting for all the lawsuits from other countries, says, who said that? Let's see. I'm watching on the thing, so I have to go back if I wanted to. But anyways, instead of getting mad, we need to organize on local levels to choose better people at our level of government, says Vanessa Escobar, member for 1 month, who's become a member for a month. Remember, you have to renew that, Vanessa, so that you stay in these here chat streets and you get to talk to us. Get ready for the next 4 years. Yeah. Jacqueline Garcia Ortiz. Let me tell you about that. How is he going to represent us in the world stage when he cannot enter certain countries, says Charmaine Callender. That is true. Now, let me just say, get ready for the next 4 years. But as I always say, you can be informed without being inundated. Remember that. Like there are days that you should engage, you should pay attention, that you should be outraged, but you cannot carry that all the time. You have to let us folks in independent media carry that. That's the reason that you become a subscriber or become a member or you come here to talk in the chat, is because you actually get heard here. Your comments get to be prioritized here. You get a voice. You don't get that in traditional media. So many prosecutors have attempted to try him and his followers just threatened to unalive them. Bullying again, says Fairy Cat 1971. No, someone says, who is that? Said, stay mad. Axton Liam says, no, stay mad and do that as well. Yes, okay, you could stay mad. America will always reinforce who is above the law, says Shanzi 81. Forget what the professionals are saying. We are saying, Don, says Eric Graham. Yeah, Eric Graham, you're right. You're right about that, Eric. I stand corrected. Billionaires are always above the law. They got the money, says Larry Harris. We're reading the comments from our members who are on the tube on YouTube. We're reading your comments. Folks who are members. The folks who are in green, Those are our members, and those are the comments I'm reading. Our Black Utopia tax dollars are paying to protect the melon felon. The melon felon. Paul Campbell, thank you. Wow, Paul, thank you for your generous support. A super sticker, Paul Campbell understands the assignment. Thank you, Paul. D. Talley, thank you for your support and is a member as well. Merrick dragged his feet to charge Trump, but watch how fast he writes a book. Wow. Let's see if that holds. Secret Service protection for the felon, really, says Beverly Hollinger. And thank you for your support as well. Karen White says, please look up the legal facts, read Diddy and why he was denied bail. Common sense people, look at the allegation. Yes, Karen, we get that. I'm just reading comments. We understand. And we're putting up scenarios to see if people would be upset because they figure, hey, look, that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But then once you're proven guilty, remember, Diddy has not been adjudicated, but Donald Trump has and has been found guilty. Winky Campbell says, welcome to the Elimination, new members. Yes, I agree 100%. Nobody's above the law, says Deborah Yvette. Don't know about that. Donald Trump seems to be. Not my president, says Shirley. I'm sorry, Shirley, he is. Elections have consequences. His Supreme Court buds will make sure he is never in a courtroom again, no matter what he does, says Sherry. I agree with you. I think there was no way around it for some of the people who have some sense of integrity. Some sense of integrity. Felons, stand up. You can be president, says Is Stacy. Wouldn't that be great? Because some of them can't vote. Don't watch or attend the inauguration of a convicted criminal, says Aya Patsy. Now, I am struggling with that very same. I mean, that's a conundrum for me. Should I go and cover it? Do I go to Washington or do I go and cover Dr. King? Because it's on that same day. Or do I just stay and cover it or ignore it from here? Using Mar-a-Lago for all his press conferences and hosting politicians, I feel he is making his personal business profit off of his presidency and getting free security for his golf course. Yeah, Charlene, where have you been? Yes, you're right. You are right. Let me give you your just desserts. You are absolutely 100% right. Folks are saying on TikTok they're not going to watch. Cover it from home. Cover Dr. King, says Sherry. Dr. King, everyone is saying. Do not watch the inauguration. Interesting. Now, you can't bury your head in the sand. I guess you guys know that the inauguration is going on. You don't have to participate in it as American citizens. I just had an epiphany. You know it's going on. You know he's going to be inaugurated. You don't have to participate in it. You can vote with your remote. Folks say are you not really going to watch or are you going to hate watch? Because today he's being convicted, which is a whole thing. I guess you thought that there would be at least some sort of justice served. So the engagement is high and people are watching. But is it going to be the same thing on the inauguration because you're going to watch just because you want to see the spectacle of it all? Or are you really not going to watch? Now, that doesn't mean that I don't, I'm not going to cover it. I don't know. Please cover Dr. King. This is I Picked Dr. King. Are you guys going to watch? Are you guys going to watch? That's what I want to know. Are you guys going to watch, and how do you feel about today? A miscarriage of justice? Can you just sit back and ignore it, especially what's happening today? By the way, Paul Campbell, you are so generous, and it's amazing. Oh boy, guys! I'm having coffee. I'm having breakfast. I'm here in Louisiana. I've been here. Been doing the show from a hotel room because family first. And not that you guys care about it. You guys don't even want me to be in my studio. Do you guys care that I'm in a hotel? I'm taking care of my family business. And I was like, if I'm going to serve the folks who I love, who are following me and watching me, I'm going to do the show wherever I can do it, even if it's from, look, just remember who the guy is who did live shows from a car traveling around the country so that I could keep you informed about what was on the mind of voters in battleground states, in red states, in blue states, in swing states. I was doing the show from a car because I care, because I did not want to be sitting in the studio going, and here's blah, blah, blah. I'm in a hotel room doing the show because I'm trying to keep you informed without like putting someone on that's going to be like, hey, you know, it's the president and he's, you know, this blah, 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 this false equivalency, which I watched Michael Steele today, and wow, Michael Steele. Michael, you're the man. You are the man. Wow. I'm actually texting Michael right now. I love his energy now. I love the Michael Steele energy right now. And I love that Jen Psaki and everybody else is just kind of sitting there eating their popcorn. Eating their popcorn. People are very touchy now about, being seen as kissing up, but wanting to say, we got to do this, we have to do that, and, we need to be civil. Come on. And Michael was exactly right about, I'm going to meet you with the level of civility that you meet me, which is none. Which is why, I was in my feelings. I got to tell you, I was in my feelings yesterday about Barack Obama. Now, look, I have nothing but respect for Barack Obama. Don't get me wrong, but I am entitled to my opinions. And I did not like to see someone who has such dignity and who's so important to so many people around the country who made history despite someone saying that he was a secret Muslim, that he was not really black enough, that he wasn't born in America, that demanded to see his birth certificate, that profiles and highlights people who make fun of the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, saying that she is a man and all kinds of shit like that. I was in my feelings. I don't like to see that. I'm not saying you should be cordial. I've said this over and over. I'm not saying you shouldn't be cordial or what have you, but I just don't like skinning and grinning like that. So, you guys said Barack Obama is classy. He is. So there you go. How do you guys feel about all of that? Someone said it's the lemon steel energy for me going forward. Yes, I feel like I have this sort of kindred thing with Michael Steele right now that I never thought that I would have. And so now you must be civil, you must do this, and you have to smile and pretend that everything is okay. In the meantime, this guy is a felon, 34 counts, and he's going to be president, and he has the nerve. This is the same guy that had nerve enough to otherize Barack Obama and said that he was not qualified to be in office. One, because they said he wasn't American, he was African, he was a secret Muslim. Nothing wrong with being a secret Muslim. That he wasn't smart, reportedly. Well, he said that. It's not. He says that, always saying that black women and people aren't smart and that people are dumb and that women making fun of women and calling Nikki Haley bird brain, and she's still out there. I'm ready for you whenever you want me to campaign for you. And he's like, I don't need you. No, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. Why are people being so cordial and being so civil when this guy says the worst things? And look at what he said about, and as California is going through this tragedy that you see up on your screen now, he's calling Gavin Newsom Gavin Newscum, but yet you want civility. Yet you get upset if I say some, salty language. Liz Wren says he loathes women. He does. It would appear to be, right? Val 1976, thank you. My gosh, you guys today, thank you. Melina NC, thank you for your support. Had my outfit ready for Harris Walsh for the inauguration. P.S. How can I become a Lemon Legend? It's up in the top of the chat. All you have to do is click on that link, Melina, in the top of the chat on YouTube. Just click on it. And then you can become a legend. And we had a time last night. If you were here last night, didn't we have a time? We had an update. We had a heartfelt moment. I actually cried. I could not believe I was sort of overcome. I gave an update on my sister. I spoke to my sister. People got to hear her from her hospital bed, her story about how she said she was at death's door. And on my little pup from my husband. Kudos to Michael Steele. A hit dog will holler. Motown Mimi, thank you for your generous support of independent media, and you are right. A hit dog will holler. You know what that means? You know what that means. Have you guys ever heard of that? A hit dog will holler. That's all I have to say. How is your sister? God is good, says Sharon Gooding. I gave an update last night on the private stream for the members, and she is doing much better, thank you. And we got to hear from her. And we also got to hear, she came out of, not necessarily, she wasn't really in a coma, but they had her sedated and intubated. She came out of it fighting, preaching the importance of independent media and being duped by MAGA, and talking about her clients at work and the diversity of her clients, and that she doesn't deny anyone, that all are welcome unless you come around trying to divide people and lying about, in her words, MAGA shit. That's what she said. You guys were there. Tell me if you remember, you heard her. Oh, yeah, Bama planter. Don, he called you dumb. Screw him. That's how I agree. That's why I don't understand all these people. Some of I used to work with saying, oh, my God, I called him and I said I was so sorry for this and that. And how, do you remember when he tried to, I don't know if he was trying, but when his rhetoric almost had us unalived at work, and you want to acquiesce, and you want to talk about being civil? May Money in the Building says, Lady Justice may be tied up, but her sister Karma is a real HIE and likes to get around. Oh, wait a minute. Did you mean like a garden tool? I don't know. Charlie Shell became a member. Thank you, Charlie. Motown Minnie became a member. Congratulations to you. Let's see here. Brea Pond, thank you for your support. I would take a page out of Karen Pence's playbook and hold onto that program and not give the time of day. Brea, were you here last night? Because I said the same shit last night. Karen Pence energy all the way around. Karen Pence energy all the way around. For me, it's about Karen Pence. Paul Campbell, again, thank you for your very generous support of independent media. Rosiah Morrison, I'm so glad that you are a member now. Congratulations. Kay Gould, congratulations on becoming a member. Shara Stores, congratulations on becoming a member. Natoisha Williams, congratulations on becoming a member. Terry Friedland Jones, congratulations on becoming a member. Motown Minnie, of course, congratulations on becoming a member. And Brea, thank you for your support as well. We appreciate it. Beth Bear, welcome to Lemonation. Beth, I thought you were already, did you like upgrade your membership? What did you do? I thought you were already a member, Beth. No, what happened? Karma doesn't forget an address, no matter how long it takes to get there. Karma is coming. I do believe that, Cat Dan 63. It may not, you may think like, oh my gosh, it may not get there when you want it, but it's always on time. Trust. And I know, trust anybody who is wronged you. I know. Mo Wash says, no love for Pence, but he was standing up for and shaking the hand of a man that called for his demise. Now listen, that's a tough position to be in. And, you know, perhaps as the former, I don't know, that's tough. I don't know if I would have done it. Just like I still believe it was tough for Barack Obama to sit next to him. And I'm not saying that Barack Obama should not have been cordial. And get this, look, I think that Mike Pence was cordial, but he wasn't skinning, grinning, and kikiing. With Donald Trump. Hello? Sad day. And Pence moved on. Yeah. And now today, considering just one day after the funeral of a very respected president, the Camp David Peace Accords brokered that deal and brought decency to the Oval Office. Thank you, Jane R., for gifting 5. Because of Jane R.'s generosity, 5 people would get to become members. So Kelly Turner, welcome to the Elimination. Martha Bilski, welcome as well. I like to welcome these folks because then you become part of the folks and we can have coffee every morning like I am having right now. Perhaps we'll have some breakfast. Maybe I should do my show from a diner. What do you guys think of that every morning? Tammy Martin, welcome to the Elimination. KIU Entertainment Company, welcome to the Elimination. Thank you all for becoming part of the Elimination, okay? Story. Oh, hey, Story. I'm so glad that you're up here. Hey, Story and Soul Gardening. I've been looking for you. I tried to message you. You're so generous. You're an amazing member because of Story and Soul Gardening. And go check out Story and Soul's webpage. And I think Story and Soul, let us know if you have social media, Story and Soul. Because of Story and Soul's generosity, 20 people would get to become members of Elimination. So thank you so much. Story and Soul understands the importance of independent media, which we have been covering the 2 big stories that are happening in the country right now. Okay, there's another story that happened, and you guys tell me how you feel about it. I feel a certain kind of way, but I'm going to let you do it. Do we have, Nikki, anyone reporting on this? Is that what we have? Do we have video, or is it a report or just video that we have?
For Anita Bryant?
Yes, you gave it away. That's okay. Do we?
Yes, we have a short clip from a documentary.
Now, do you guys remember Anita Bryant? Let me just tell you, Anita Bryant. Does anyone remember Anita Bryant? Story and Soul says, "Oh, thank you." Story and Soul Gardening says, "Oh, thank you." Yes, I mean that. I was looking for you, and I think I sent you a note on your YouTube page, and I'm not sure if you got it because just you. Thank you. I'm glad that you folks understand the assignment. And I appreciate it. We never ask or anything like that, but you guys always respond voluntarily by doing it. Now, memberships, I do say, and look, subscriptions are free, and I do ask people to become members, but your generosity and your generous contributions, I never solicit that, but I always want to thank people who do it. Cheryl Johnson, welcome to Elimination. Cheryl Johnson. We are standing by and waiting for a press conference to happen in Los Angeles, and I do want to give you an update. I think it's important, and you can see there on the top left box on the screen, you see Mayor Karen Bass and all the officials in Los Angeles getting ready for a press conference. Hi, Misha Parker. Welcome to Elimination. So as they get ready, let's just put this up. I hope. Oh, wow. Hush Pup. Hush Pup. Because of Hush Pup's generosity, 20 people get to become members of Elimination. Holy crap. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. So they're getting ready, and they're going to do their introductions first, so you will have plenty of time to see it, and we're going to carry it for you here. Ann Speaka. Welcome to Elimination, all of you. This is Anita Bryant. Back in the day, was a Grammy-nominated singer, former Miss Oklahoma, later became a high-profile campaigner against gay rights in America. She became a gay rights, anti-gay. She became a bigot. She died at the age of 94. In an announcement on Thursday, her family announced that Bryant died at her home in Edmond, Oklahoma on 16th of December, 2024. Her family said, "May Anita's memory and her faith in the eternal life through Christ comfort and all who embrace her family," she said. But Anita Bryant passed away. Like, I'm not going to play the clip, but let me just tell you some of the things. You guys tell me what you think about Anita Bryant, okay? This is what some of what Anita Bryant had to say. And this is from an obit piece. She said, "I got involved only because they were asking for special privileges that violated the state law of Florida, not to mention God's law," Bryant told Playboy in 1978 in an interview. "You know, when I was a child, you didn't even mention the word homosexual, much less find out what the act was about. You knew it was very bad, but you couldn't imagine what they tried to do exactly in terms of one taking a male role and the other taking a female role. I mean, it was too filthy to think about, and you had other things to think about. So when I finally found out all the implications, it was a total revelation for me." Blame gay people? I do, says Green, her ex-husband said. Their stated goal was to put Bryant out of business and destroy her career, and that's what they did. It's unfair. Was that unfair? So how do you feel about Anita Bryant? That's what I want to know. Maybe after this. But Andy, take me off the screen and put up the press conference and play it.
That gets an alert.
And then I'll be back in 2 seconds.
If they are in an evacuation warning or order, to go to alertla.org, lacounty.gov/emergency, or dial 211 for assistance. The mapping is accurate on where evacuation warnings and orders exist. Again, this is my top priority. This is the top priority of my partners at the state and at FEMA with the public alert and warning tool to resolve this issue as quickly as possible and identify the root cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to make this very short because we've got a full list of people that want to present today. You're going to hear information from our insurance commissioner, Ricardo Lara. Thank you for being here, about how residents can get connected to insurance support to recover and rebuild. And I was up in the Alpine area last night, and the common question was, how do I navigate the insurance process, and will I be able to get insured again? And so I felt it was important for us to hear from our insurance commissioner, who's been very engaged on this issue. And then I just want to say to everyone, you know, I've been out and I've heard from my residents, and I think we've all had someone impacted by this fire. I keep saying it, you are not alone. I talk to families that have lost everything, and they don't know where to go. And as the supervisor representing that district, but also as a chair, I speak for this board. We are here to support you, and we will be here for the long road to rebuild. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Bass to say a few words.
Thank you, Chair Barger. All of us here are working urgently and around the clock to confront this ongoing firestorm. And when we are on the front lines, when we're in the command posts, when we're in the Emergency Operations Center, we carry with us our friends and neighbors. That is what this fight is all about. It's about those friends, neighbors, and loved ones who have fled their homes, those who have lost their homes, those who have lost their lives. To all Angelinos, we are fighting hard for each of you. So here's our city update responding to this natural disaster. LAFD battled all night on the Palisades fire, the Hearst fire, the Kenneth fire, and airdrop efforts, thank goodness, continue. LAFD also responded to and extinguished fires in Pacoima, Hollywood, Studio City, and more. I do want to let everyone know that Griffith Park including Runyon Canyon, will be closed through Sunday. Yesterday, President Biden pledged his full support for response efforts, including FEMA reimbursement 100% of our disaster response costs. FEMA also launched resources and support for Angelenos impacted by these fires. Visit disasterassistance.gov to apply.
This is the mayor, Karen
We have worked
Bass.
with the governor and Sheriff Luna to
Hopefully
secure
these
the
folks
National
can get
Guard,
some of their
which will
stuff
back up and free up our firefighters and police officers and play a key role in securing our evacuation zones to keep people safe and to protect against anyone thinking of taking advantage of this tragedy. People from across LA, the nation, and the world are asking how to help. Yesterday, I spoke of the California Community Foundation's Wildlife Recovery Fund, and today I'm grateful to share that within 24 hours, they have raised $2.5 million from 4,000 generous donors. Visit calfund.org. I also mentioned that Airbnb has been working through the 211 online portal to provide free temporary housing. Now, the demand has been extremely high, and Airbnb has increased their commitment to providing emergency assistance for now 25,000 evacuees, first responders, and others impacted by the fires.
Folks are wondering where all of these people are going to go.
.org to get
I hope
connected.
you can hear me.
With
Folks
so
are
many
wondering
homes
where
and
all of these
businesses
people are
lost,
going to go,
we
and
are
if they're
already
going to be
putting
enough
plans
hotel
in
rooms.
place
They're
to
working
make sure
with
that we
Airbnb and others,
aggressively rebuild.
probably
My
VRBO and
office is
others as
leading the
well.
city effort
And
to
then
clear the
yesterday,
way,
we were saying,
red
how are they
tape,
going to do all of these
bureaucracy,
things that are
all of
supposed
it
to happen, all of
must
these
go.
entertainment things,
This will
people
be an
coming in for
enormous
hotels.
undertaking, but we will be ready
So they're
for
trying to
it
figure that out. That
because we will
hotels are going
not
to be full there,
rely
and they're
on
going to
the
have to
old
figure out
way
how to
of
get some
doing
of these
things.
people
For this
into
recovery,
hotels,
we
into
will have, like
Airbnbs,
we have
if
done in
they're
other
even available,
areas,
considering
we'll
how much
shake up the
loss there is
system
there.
and move forward
That's what they're
with new
talking about at the moment.
strategies
We're going to
and
continue to listen in.
policies.
Here it is.
I don't believe that there is anything that Angelenos cannot do if we stand together. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce LA County's 3rd District Supervisor, Lindsay Horvath.
Good morning. I want to first start by thanking our first responders who were focused in the Topanga region yesterday and responded swiftly to the Kenneth fire. Incredible action from firefighters who are giving multiple fires absolutely everything they've got. Initial reports led our department to serious concerns, but we have the absolute best, most experienced teams leading our efforts, and even with the most challenging circumstances and terrain, they have been able to deliver. Next, I want to express my deep frustration with the alert system that is causing confusion and additional panic for our communities at this time of extreme crisis. Whatever the cause, it is unacceptable, and it is being addressed now by the county's Office of Emergency Management, as Director McGowan described. We'll be investigating what happened, how, and why at every level in our exhaustive after-action process to ensure it is corrected. There is a reason why we have redundancies in our communication system. Crises require them. Please sign up for alertla.org, visit emergency.lacounty.gov, and tune into local radio and TV. Our LA media partners have done an incredible job getting the word out, and it's why we hold these press briefings. In terms of overnight updates in the communities I represent, we had a small brush fire of under 5 acres in Pacoima that the fire department knocked out quickly, and we thank them for their bravery and their swift action. The fires continue to have air quality impacts throughout the Los Angeles County region. A smoke advisory has been extended through Friday. To limit exposure, please remain indoors as much as possible, avoid outdoor physical activity, and run your air conditioner or air purifier if you have one. The Department of Public Health's Chief Deputy, Dr. Anish Mahajan, is here and can help answer questions about air quality. The strength and resolve of Los Angeles County residents, as well as our extraordinary first responders from every level of government, as well as our private citizens from across the country and right here in our own county, will be the way we get through this unimaginable tragedy. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome up LA County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney.
Thank you, Supervisor. So good morning. The Eaton fire, current estimated acreage, 13,956 acres with 3% containment. We still have 4,000 to 5,000 structures that may be damaged or destroyed. Once
So
we
that
do our
Eaton
damage
fire,
inspection
and
reports,
they've
we'll get
been talking
a
about,
more
remember that's
accurate
one of the
number for
originals.
you.
I want to
We
hear
currently
about,
have
what was it, the
1,500
Kenneth fire?
firefighting personnel.
Because that one was the one that was someone they believe started it intentionally, but we're not exactly sure the details, that they may have pulled that back. But that's what I want to know. So where does the fire come from? Seems to me the sky looks like an attack from above, an asteroid. Well, Miss D, that's not where, the fire on the ground, and that's the smoke, obviously, all up in the air. And that folks are asking here. So I want to know, as we're listening to what's going on, they're talking about the containment and all of that, okay? And if you're in Los Angeles, you're there, and you kind of know. But let's talk. I want to talk to you guys about this, okay? And I gave some of the information. If you guys can, I just want to, if we can, as they're going through this press conference, somewhere on the screen, and I don't know if you can put it up, just some of the fact checks, because a lot of the information that's here is wrong that they have been giving. A lot of that information has been inaccurate. What the felon president-elect has been saying, wrong information that he is given. There was no shortage, there we go, in fires. So let me just give you some of this information as they are reading it off, just so you know. That the LA Democratic Mayor Karen Bass cut fire department funding. Mostly false. It needs context, that I've been saying. The department was in the middle of an ongoing negotiation on additional funding when that happened, put the money aside in a separate account. The final deal actually increased funding by $50 million. That's a fact. Okay, on to the next one. The next one is, can we put the next one up? I have it. I'll get it from my personal information.
The next one's up.
Is that it? No, it said it increased funding by $50 million. Am I watching on the wrong feed? Sorry.
Are you on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. Yeah. There we go. See, I have to have people around me to keep me in check, like Nikki and those guys. Okay. So where does LA's water come from? It doesn't come from a place, and they didn't run out of water because they're trying to protect smelt and all this stuff and the little fish that Donald Trump said. It is false. It's up on your screen where the water actually comes from. State officials, including Republicans, confirmed to local news outlets that there has never been a declaration similar to which Trump is referring to about Newsom refusing to sign the water restoration declaration. That's a total lie. Additionally, Los Angeles water doesn't come from snow rain in Northern California. It comes from LA's 112-year-old aqueduct from Owens Valley and groundwater. The city also imports water from the Metropolitan Water District, which channels water from sources such as the Colorado River. Next fact check. Claim. Fire hydrants in LA ran out of water because the city/county refused to refill reservoirs. False. Prior to the fires this week, LA filled its water tanks. Officials note that due to the high demand, fire hydrants are running out of water because the water is being used faster than officials can refuel the tanks. Fires themselves have made it difficult to refuel the tanks. Okay, these are facts. I just like to get it out here, and then we go back to what's happening. 30% of California's firefighters are firefighting force is incarcerated firefighters. That's mostly true. And then it talks about they make up 30% of the wildfire force. At times they do 30% of the force in the state. As of Wednesday, 395 firefighters combating the fires are incarcerated people. They get paid about $5.80 to $5.80 to $5.80 to $10.24 per day, and then an additional $1 an hour to respond to active emergencies. And because of the 13th Amendment abolishes slavery except as punishment for a crime, permitting prison labor or mandatory community service in an exception known as the so-called slavery loophole. In 2024, California voted against a proposition to remove similar language in the state's constitution. Next fact check. The fires will bankrupt insurance companies, including the FAIR FAIR plan. Mostly false. And then it goes into how it's not true that folks have been positing this and saying it, and it's just not true. Okay, and then you can read the details, but it's mostly false. So there you go. Those are the facts. Los Angeles in a state of emergency right now. The residents are in dire straits. Many are homeless right now. And there is a press conference happening. And so let's listen in.
Unnoticed. Thank you.
Yeah, now Sheriff Robert Luna. Thank you, Sheriff.
Good morning to everybody. This morning we have well over 500 LA County deputies that are assisting continuous with evacuations, traffic control, security patrols, and other humanitarian efforts. They're out there. I hear people calling me. They see a lot of black and white police cars rolling with lights and siren. They're out there working. That's what they're doing. They've been actively patrolling evacuated areas and are increasing their presence to deter any burglary or looting activity that may occur. Just to summarize on evacuations for all the fires that we're dealing with, evacuations orders stand at approximately 153,000 residents that are under evacuation orders and approximately 57,830 structures at risk, and then evacuation warnings, approximately 166,800 residents under both warnings, or I'm sorry, those are just specifically for warnings. What I want to go to next, and we started talking about this last night, is a curfew. A curfew order has been established for the Palisades and Eaton fire areas in all mandatory evacuation zones. That will be in effect. It was in effect last night, and it's going to be in effect tonight at 6 p.m. So it ended at 6 a.m. this morning, will take effect again until 6 p.m. I'm emphasizing that to our media partners because part of this is communicating to the public. You cannot be in these affected areas. If you are subject to arrest. That is important. We're not doing this to inconvenience anybody. We're doing it to protect the structures, the houses that people have left because we ordered them to leave, and I want them to feel confident that we are doing everything we can to secure that. This curfew will be strictly enforced and is being taken to enhance public safety, protect property, and prevent any burglaries or looting in the area that the residents have evacuated. The only people that will be allowed in these areas are disaster workers, okay? I just want to make that clear because we have other people trying to get in there. And by the way, media partners who have legitimate media credentials, yes, you may enter those areas unless it's very, very unsafe and somebody tells you not to for that reason. Again, just specifically, anyone found in violation of this curfew will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor offense under LA County Code Section 2.68320, and conviction may result in a fine up to $1,000 or jail time. And I'm telling you right now, I know people talk about no bail, and I've given direction that if somebody's caught doing this, they are not going to get cited and released. They're going to get booked. We are not screwing around with this. We don't want anyone taking advantage of our residents that have already been victimized. The National Guard deployment. As many of you are aware, we asked for the National Guard. I'm very thankful to Governor Newsom and the State Office of Emergency Services that fulfilled that request. As of last night, we've had National Guardsmen assisting us. They arrived last night and deployed to the Eaton fire area, and we're assisting with road closures and critical infrastructure protection. As additional guard personnel arrive, and they will be in the next 12 to 24 hours, the Sheriff's Department will strategically coordinate their deployment with other partners such as the Los Angeles Police Department, Pasadena Police Department, Santa Monica Police Department, Azusa, and Arcadia. Those are the requests we have now. That may grow. We'll adjust as time goes on. I want to make sure that if anybody needs updated information on either evacuation orders or warnings or road closures, they go to lacounty.gov/emergency. And with that, I am going to be introducing Assistant Chief Dominic Choi from the Los Angeles Police Department.
All right. Good morning. On behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department, I just want to extend our deepest sympathies to all those affected by our fires, and that includes many of our own LAPD officers who've lost homes and property in this fire, and they continue to serve these communities. And I
Andy,
appreciate
take it
all
down
the
a little
work.
bit. I think that's important.
I have a number of important
a lot of
updates
these
for all
people
of
who
you
are
today.
fighting these fires, the police officers who are helping, and the firefighters, they've lost their own homes, and yet they're still out there trying to help people. So we should be cognizant of that.
At 4:32 p.m., we received a 911 call that a suspect was attempting to light a fire in the community of Woodland Hills and was being detained by residents.
This is the update.
Officers from LAPD's Topanga area
Listen,
responded and took that suspect into custody. And once we learned that this suspect was a possible arson suspect, our Major Crimes Division responded to Topanga Division, along with Ventura County sheriffs, who was the lead in the Kenneth fire investigation. But they responded, they interviewed this suspect. After the interview and additional investigative steps, looking at some additional evidence that was present, they made the determination that there was not enough probable cause to arrest this person on arson or suspicion of arson, and therefore this person was arrested on a felony probation violation. This investigation is ongoing, however, and I'd like to thank those community members that were involved in this and helping us bring this person to our attention, and so we can have an ongoing investigation. The second point I want to talk about is for any of those people looking for loved ones or missing people related specifically to the Palisades fire. Now, the county is also doing this for the Eden fire, but for the city of Los Angeles, we've stood up a family assistance center. This center is located at Chevy Hills Recreation Center, and it's at 2551 Motor Avenue. It's going to be open today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will have 10 officers there ready to receive anyone who needs to report a missing person related to the Palisades fire. We will also have the American Red Cross, the Mayor's Crisis Response Team, the LA County Medical Examiner's Office, and the LA County Department of Mental Health. They will be there to help support, answer questions, and provide information as necessary. Again, I just want to emphasize this is for missing people related to Palisades fire. This is not for any other issues related to the fire.
Okay. Thanks, Andy. You can take that down a little bit. So we're going to keep that up. But here's the thing because you guys are here today, and I appreciate that you're tuning in. The engagement is fantastic, and I just want to give you what you want, and I want you to have a voice. And so I'm going to answer your questions and take your comments now, if you will allow me to, because I think it's very important. Because this is a historic time and it's a historic day. Where we have a former president and a president-elect who is now officially been sentenced as a felon, is a criminal president, is a felon president, is a president who has been found liable of abusing a woman, S.A. That's what we have. And we're living with unprecedented natural disaster, an unprecedented natural disaster in this country, in California. GQ Wonder Woman says, it sounds like California is doing a great job. Lived in 3 states and they are far more organized. So I want to hear what you have to say about these stories about the sentencing of the president-elect, what you have to say about yesterday, if you still care about the Barack Obama, Donald Trump of it all. and how you feel about the fires. And I appreciate your support, your generous support from the folks here, from Hush Pup and from Story and Soul Gardening. So let's talk, guys. Let's talk. What a way to start 2025, says Cindy P. A young YTer just moved to Los Angeles from California, from Texas, to move to Los Angeles to LA from California, from Texas. That doesn't make sense. Maybe you just moved from Texas. How did I lose your comment? I lost it. I'm sorry. Anyway, I know that you had a question. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll find it. Lenders require insurance on home loans, or they will assign very high premium insurance to cover themselves, says Carol Hamilton. That is true, but some people don't have insurance. If you don't have a mortgage, then you don't have to have insurance. You take that risk yourself. Adjudicated, I can't say that word because of the algorithm. Sorry. I know I repeat myself, but he should never have become president, says Maureen Marfell. It's a great day for me. Convicted felon Trump, says Karen White. Karen Bennett says, I'm upset. Way to start 2025. Read that. Way to start 2025. Shirley M says, let the Barack Obama scandal go. We have bigger battles to fight. The felon in chief, on the other hand, I agree with you on that. But some folks feel a certain kind of way. I agree. This is your channel, and I'm reading your comments and I'm answering your questions. Ms. McPherson says, sincerely, I'm just fasting and praying for the USA. After the holidays, I could use some fasting because chubby cheeks right now, and I'm in Louisiana and the food, you know. Aaliyah Hunter says, he got a slap on the wrist and was still crying about it. Winky Campbell says, happy 1 year of elimination to the day one. Don is amazing crew. Are we at a year? We're not, Nikki, we're not at a year yet, are we? Is it a year since the announcement that I was starting, but not a year?
No, not quite. So the channel
March, isn't it?
existed for a little bit before, but our first show was released on March 18th.
We got a while. And here's what we're trying to do, guys. Can you get me there? Whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are. We want to have 500,000 can we do it by my birthday or at least the 1 year anniversary of the channel? That would be great. Can we do 1 million? That would be great. We should have like a drive. But can we do that? Subscriptions, subscribers. Subscribing is free. Subscriptions are free. We'd love for you to become members, but subscriptions are free. Here we go. A preview to how he reacts to disasters. Yes, Renee is talking to someone. Aaliyah says, I saw Jasmine give it to him raw. My love to producers, says Deborah Yvette, to Nikki and Andy also. Amber Devon says, although Trump won't serve time, justice was served today and held Trump accountable by sentencing him by discharge and deemed him a convicted felon. LBC says, I'm so angry at the people who voted for the felon Trump. Please cover Dr. King only, meaning for an inauguration day, says Deidre H. We should celebrate on your birthday, says Maureen Marfell. We should be celebrating. At least we want 500,000. So we're at 300 and what are we at now? 330?
330.
In less than a month, 30,000 people. Remember we were celebrating 300,000 just before Christmas. And in less than a month, 30,000 people have become subscribers to the channel. Interesting. I thought the same, but I heard he can enter. If not, President Musk will go in his place. I guess Amanda was in the chat asking Sherry about going to different countries where they don't allow fellas in. Felons can officially be president now, says T Science. Apparently so. Apparently so. Donald Robinson says, so true, close to 100,000 views. And thumbs up today, come on, guys. Close to 100,000 views, and the thumbs up are not thumbs upping. It's not matching. The math ain't mathing on that. So make sure you hit the thumbs up. Close to 100,000 views, and the thumbs up today aren't the thumbs up aren't thumbs upping. Cat Love Dreaming Peach says, being nice to evil raises eyebrows naturally. I agree, Cat. Thank you. TD says, wow, it doesn't feel like it's almost been a year. Been here since day one. It'll be a year in March, so we still have some time. But the channel was here so that we could get all the processes in place. More thumbs up. Some viewers had to FO or go, says Donna Robinson, because we've been on for a while. We came on early. Should we come on at 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock? Producers are like, no! Is it because of what happened today, or is it because 9 o'clock people are ready? You guys tell us. Do you like 10 a.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. Eastern? When is your birthday, Mindy Hill? March 1st is my birthday. Don, how would you like to celebrate your birthday? I would like to celebrate with like 1 million members, but I'll take 500,000. Or, 1 million subscribers. So let me just tell you guys this. If you know someone out there, if you have people who are wondering, like, where's Don, or where can I get my news, or they're still stuck on legacy media and corporate media, whatever, have them, send them the link to the channel so that they can become part of our community. And moderators who are in on the TikTok, let folks know how they can watch us over in the other places where we are, and all the places where we are. Put up the link on how they can watch us. You can pin it in other places. How would you like to celebrate your birthday? I told you. Well, yes, Nikki and Andy are great. Do not. It says 329,000. It's 330, I believe, right? Yeah, 330 it says. When should we broadcast? Should it be 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m.? And then we'll talk to you about 5 o'clock, too, because we've asked that before. Winky Campbell says, happy 1 year of elimination to the day first, and it was amazing crew. It hasn't been quite 1 year yet. It's not until March. It's not until March. LOL, what a joke, says Kate Love Dreaming Peach. No justice was served. Mackenzie Carter Cameron says, make sure to turn your gifted membership setting on if you can't afford a membership. Thank you, Mackenzie. Renee Hutchins, the first 9 days of the year sucked. Sarah Habib says, Don Lemon, now we have 5,000 thumbs up. I know, but we have way more than that people who are watching, and you haven't done that. So make sure that folks do that. We should also put up a poll. Well, it says, have you become a member? Well, let's leave this one up. And then I think later we should say, have you hit the thumbs up button? Actually, we can put that on a scroll at the bottom where it says like and subscribe. You can also ask Andy or Nikki, have you hit the thumbs up button yet? Okay. This is a higher power, and trust me, he ain't done. The orange will get his, says Yvonne. Not a member yet, Yvonne. What's going on? I read your comment. I'm just saying it's good because you did it all caps, but usually we like to profile our members and highlight our members. Matt F. says, Don, can we meet you while you are in Baton Rouge? My birthday is tomorrow. I would love to shake your hand, brother. I think I'm leaving today. And I would under other circumstances, but you know what's going on. So I don't know where you are. I don't know, Matt. I blame Merrick Garland, says Angel Kelly. That is a very good conversation that we need to have. That is a very good. Someone over on the TikTok said, I don't know. On TikTok, you just have to follow us. Sherry says, I don't know how to do a membership. I'm new to TikTok. On TikTok, you just have to hit follow and then you have to hit like. if you want to become a member, you have to go over to the YT channel, which is, it was pinned at the top of the chats, but someone will put it in there, and you can just click on that link, and then you can become a member on the YT. That's how you become a member. Reese Nunn says, we love you, Don. Thank you very much. Festivus, welcome to the Elimination. Oh, so here's something interesting. Bug Nita says, I'm too nosy not to look at the inauguration, but I don't want to. Marcy, aka Leopard Lady, says, so we can add another 200K. Okay, let's see. Challenge on. Can we do it? Let's see how much this nation can come together, this Lemon Nation can come together, organize and galvanize people to grow our own community, our own channel. No inauguration, says Robin Dopp. He wants those ratings. He does. Can you imagine if the ratings are really low for the inauguration? He will lose his mind. Can you guys imagine that? Can you imagine? Catherine W says, because you're the best. Thank you, Catherine. I stress-baked, was so worried about my friends there. Anyone need quiche in Central Florida, says Cassandra. Not watching on TikTok. A lot of folks said that they're not watching. Not watching. Won't watch Carol Sue. Are you worried about TikTok and to screen? There's was a hearing today, Nikki, or is it done? There's a hearing soon.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up a bit. Are you asking about the TikTok hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's before the Supreme Court today.
It's before the Supreme Court today. So we could get some clarification on what could happen on the possible TikTok ban. Yes to quiche, says Paulette Oliver. So someone wants some quiche. Okay, so listen, guys. As I said, there's a lot going on, and I could stay on here all day and talk to you about it. But I think I'm going to go and check out my sister before it's too late, for visiting hours, and before I have to jump on a plane. But I will tell you that I'm appreciative of the engagement. I'm appreciative of your involvement. And I'm so glad that you guys care about the people in California, because people have been asking how they can give, how they can help out the folks who are in California. One big way of helping out is being aware, and we're keeping you aware. Am I still breaking up? Or am I fine now? Someone said
no, you sound clear now.
Okay. One is being aware, and we're trying to make you aware of what's going on. We're fact checking you. I can see, oh yeah, the connectivity is, I can see the connectivity. There's an issue with it. And that's what you can do. You can also become a member. You can support independent media that keeps you involved and informed, that you can help with the awareness. But there's a Red Cross. There are other agencies that you can go on and find how you can do it. You can also be informed, and you can do some fact checking on the information before just falling for the misinformation. As many folks, especially the MAGA crowd, the MAGA brain folks, who they just fall for anything that the felon president-elect says to them. Not sure why. Perhaps it has something to do with something that's missing in their lives. I don't know. Perhaps they're just gullible. Perhaps, as he says, not me, he loves the poorly educated. So maybe that's it. But don't fall for the okie doke. And make sure you stay aware and stay informed, and know that we are here for you. And I'm always going to tell you the truth. A lot of folks here, who are part of the channel, who like and subscribe. Again, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you like and subscribe and become a member if you can. A lot of folks here, they sometimes they don't like what I have to say, or they don't agree with what I have to say, but they know that I always tell them the truth. And they know that I'm always honest in my assessment. And if I get something wrong or I go too far, I will apologize or I'll correct it, which is how it should be. which is how it should be. There's so many people watching, Nikki, I hate to leave, but I got to do what I got to do, right? Because we still have such great engagement. And look, I shout out to everyone who's in California. And I know that some of the independent media folks, some of the streamers. Now, look, you have to remember this. Just because you're a streamer or you're a podcaster or you're a content creator, that does not mean that you're independent. That doesn't mean that you're independent. That means that you are you have a corporate media structure, but yet you are in the streaming sphere. There is a difference. Thank you, Gwen Jones, for your generous support of independent media. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I think my sister's in the chat. If you're in the chat, sis, let us know. Hopefully you're resting and you're not in these here chat streets. If it wasn't solely for Don on CNN, the public eyes would still be, what was that? Someone said, would still be shut today on President Orange. Thank you. I appreciate that, Monica Mo. Twinkie67, you are so generous. Thank you. Prayers for your sister, Don, and we'll continue. You continue to use prayer for the residents of LA County. Thank you, Twinkie. I appreciate that. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Oh, there's my sister. Our new name will be Lemon Nation Network. My sister's in the chat, so she must be doing better. She's obviously, okay? So stay safe. Lemon Nation Network. Alrighty, guys. So you can say hi to her. I'm going to go over and say hi to her in a little bit. But I have some things that I have to do that I have to tape here, and my producers are going to start yelling at me. Remember, it's just me on the channel for now. So everything, it's just me. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. LNN, Lemon News Network. I saw someone said that. I thought about that when I did. Actually, it's LMN. It's Lemon Media Network, which is the official name of the channel. I'll be celebrating Martin Luther King Day on the 20th of January. Tuned into something worth celebrating, says Gwen Jones. And by the way, Gwen, thank you for your comment and for your generous support of independent media. Thank you so much for that. Rockio Rocks or Rocio Rooks, welcome to the Lemonation. So, okay. All right, everyone. I will make sure you stay informed. Don't fall for the okie doke. Be informed. Don't be inundated. Don't sit around all day and waste your time just watching, waiting for something to happen. You'll hear about it. We'll tell you about it. You can come here and bitch, moan, state your case. I just became a member, says I saw that. I just shouted you out, Rooks. So Astromech Jeremy says, Lemon Still Energy. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your support. Okay, I'm going to go about my day. We have more content for you coming up. So have a fantastic, safe day. Go hug a loved one. Do something nice for your fellow man, your fellow American. If you can, do what you can to help the folks out in California. And you know what? I want to say something about you know what to that and whatever. It was about to be in the White House. The hell with him. Live your life. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.